of sharing the peace of Christ. Shalom World, God's own channel.
Laudetur Jesus Christus, praised be Jesus Christ. A very warm welcome to you all on behalf of Vatican Media, Vatican Radio, and of all of my colleagues here at the Vatican's Dicastery for Communication. My name is Francesca Merlo, and it is my pleasure to be providing the commentary for this live broadcast of Pope Francis's general audience today, Wednesday, the 1st of May. The Feast of St. Joseph the Worker, also known as the Day of the Worker. Everybody is off work. Well, not everybody. The event is taking place in the Paul VI Hall in the Vatican. Unfortunately, it's not a particularly nice day in Rome. The audiences have been taking place outside in St. Peter's Square, but because of the rain, today it will be taking place in the Paul VI Hall. A very warm welcome to all of you, whether you're joining us via our Vatican News YouTube channel, via our various partner stations, and these are EWTN Television English Channel, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light Television, Radio Maria England, Shalom World Television, Atma Darshan Television, Catholic Television, Luminous Radio in India, and Radio Maria Papua New Guinea. And the warm welcome also goes to any of you tuning in via any local or diocesan radio stations around the world. A warm welcome also goes to all of our friends from the Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas, DCYIA. Please visit our YouTube channel with translation in American Sign Language at Vatican News ASL. This broadcast is also available live right now on our Vatican Media audio app and on our Vatican News website. You can access this at www.vaticannews.va, and a live stream is also being broadcasted right now on our Facebook page. Now, for those of you who can see the screen, you will be able to see a very full Paul VI Hall, and the pilgrims are excited, clearly, and waiting for Pope Francis to arrive. He usually enters from the left-hand side of the stage, if you are facing the stage, and he usually greets the language readers, so those who provide the translations in the various languages, before starting the audience. We will begin shortly with a reading from John, which we will hear in the various languages, and after that Pope Francis will be reading Catechesis in Italian, and we will be providing full simultaneous English language translation, and that will be followed by a summary of Pope Francis's Catechesis in the various languages, which we won't be translating because of course you will have just heard the full text in English, but after that we will be translating the Pope's greetings to the various groups of faithful in the various languages. And at the end of the audience, there will be the singing of the Our Father in Latin, and of course the Holy Father's Apostolic Blessing, which is imparted to all of those listening live, and this is whether they are doing so in person in the Vatican or at a distance by this or other broadcasts. But that all comes later on. As you can probably tell from the change in the noise coming from the crowd, Pope Francis has just entered the room, and he's making his way to his seat, his papal seat, let's call it. The Paul VI hall is very full, which is lovely to see. Encouragement from the crowd as the Pope makes his way slowly but surely. He's saying hello to the crowd.
Il Santo Padre dà ora inizio all'udienza generale, introducendola con il segno della croce e il saluto liturgico. Disponiamoci ad accogliere la sua parola e a ricevere la sua benedizione.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. La pace sia con voi.
Now the audience have taken their seats, and we will be hearing the reading of the day, which is
Dal Vangelo secondo Giovanni.
from
Gesù,
John,
quando
chapter
trovò il
9,
cieco a cui aveva
verses
ridato la
35
vista,
to
gli disse:
38.
Tu credi nel Figlio
I will
dell'uomo?
not be translating this as
Egli
we will be
rispose:
hearing it
E chi è,
read in
Signore,
English
perché io
by
creda in Lui?
the
Gli
English
disse
language
Gesù:
reader.
Lo
And
hai
for now we
visto,
are hearing
è
it in
colui che parla
Italian.
con te. Ed egli disse: Credo, Signore, e si prostrò dinanzi a lui. Parola del Signore.
De l'Évangile selon saint Jean.
Now we hear the
Jésus
reading in
trouva
French.
l'aveugle à qui il avait rendu la vue et lui dit « Crois-tu au Fils de l'homme ?» Il répondit « Et qui est-il, Seigneur, pour que je croie en lui ?» Jésus lui dit « Tu le vois, et c'est lui qui te parle. » Il dit « Je crois, Seigneur. » Et il se prosterna devant lui. Parole du Seigneur.
And now in English.
A reading from the Gospel according to St. John. Jesus heard that they had cast him out, and having found him, he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered, "And who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and it is he who speaks to you." He said, "Lord, I believe," and he worshipped him. The word of the Lord.
Lesung aus dem Johannesevangelium.
Now in German
Jesus
we hear
hörte,
the
dass sie ihn
same reading.
hinausgestoßen hatten, und als er ihn traf, sagte
For
er
those
zu
of you
ihm,
who are
glaubst
just
du an den
joining us
Menschensohn?
now, a very warm
antwortete jener
welcome
und
to
sagte,
this
Wer
general
ist das, Herr,
audience
damit ich an ihn
on
glaube?
this 1st of May, the
Jesus sagte zu ihm,
feast of
du
Saint
hast ihn
Joseph
bereits
the
gesehen.
Welcome.
Er, der mit dir redet, ist es.
as you
aber
can
sagte,
possibly
"Ich
see if
glaube,
you are
Herr."
following on a screen,
Und
and
warf
if
sich
not,
vor ihm nieder.
I am here to
Wort des
tell
lebendigen
you
Gottes.
the audience is taking place in the Paul VI Hall, because unfortunately the weather is not great in Rome. And the Paul VI Hall is very full, which is great. And we are currently just hearing the Gospel reading for the day, which is taken from John chapter 9, verses 35 to 38. And we are hearing the reading in the various languages, being read by the various language readers. And after this, we will be hearing Pope Francis's Catechesis, which he should be reading himself.
Palabra del Señor.
Now, from this response to the Spanish reading, it sounds like there is a large Spanish language crowd.
Leitura do Evangelho de São João.
And here is the Portuguese.
Jesus, quando encontrou o cego a quem tinha dado a vista, disse-lhe: Tu crês no Filho do Homem? Ele respondeu: E quem é, Senhor, para eu crer nele? Disse-lhe Jesus: Já o viste, é aquele que está a falar contigo. Então exclamou: Eu creio, Senhor, e prostrou-se diante dele. Palavra da salvação.
من إنجيل ربنا يسوع المسيح للقديس
Now we have the Gospel reading in Arabic.
فسمع يسوع أنهم طردوا الأعمى الذي أعاد إليه بصره، فلقيه وقال له: أتؤمن أنت بابن الإنسان؟ أجاب: ومن هو يا رب فأؤمن به؟ قال له يسوع: قد رأيته، هو الذي يكلمك. فقال: آمنت يا رب، وسجد له. كلام الرب.
Czytanie z Ewangelii według świętego Jana.
And the final language is Polish.
Niewidomego od urodzenia,
And after
którego
this we should be
uzdrowił,
hearing
rzekł do
Pope
niego:
Francis's Catechesis.
Czy ty wierzysz w Syna
He's been
Człowieczego?
following a cycle of catechesis
On
on
odpowiedział:
the
A któż to
virtues
jest,
and
Panie,
the
abym
vices.
w Niego uwierzył? Rzekł do niego Jezus:
And
Jest
in the last
nim
couple of
ten,
weeks he
którego
has been
widzisz
focusing
i który mówi do
on
ciebie.
the
On zaś
theological
odpowiedział:
virtues.
Wierzę, Panie, i
And
oddał
this
mu
week's
pokłon.
reflection
Oto
will be
słowo
on
Pańskie.
faith. Now we prepare to hear the Holy Father's Catechesis, which he will be reading himself in Italian.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good morning.
Oggi vorrei parlare della virtù della fede.
Today I would like to talk
Insieme
about
con
the
la carità e
virtue
la speranza,
of
questa virtù è
faith.
detta teologale.
Together with charity
Virtù teologali sono tre.
and hope,
Fede,
this virtue is
speranza e
described
carità.
as a theological virtue. There are three.
E perché sono teologali? Perché la si può
Because
vivere questa
why are
virtù
they theological?
teologale solo
Because
grazie al
it can
dono di
be
Dio.
lived only thanks to the
Le
gift
tre
of
virtù
God.
teologali sono i grandi doni che Dio fa alla
The
nostra
three
capacità
theological
morale.
virtues are the great gifts that God
Senza di
gives
esse
to our
noi
moral
potremmo
capacity.
essere prudenti, giusti, forti
Without
e
them, we
temperanti,
could
ma non
be
avremmo
prudent, just,
occhi che
strong, and
vedono
temperate,
anche nel buio,
but
non
we would not have
avremmo
eyes
un
that see
cuore
even in the
che ama
dark.
anche quando non è
We would
amato,
not have a
non
heart
avremmo
that
una
loves
speranza
even
che
when it
osa
is not
contro ogni
loved.
speranza.
We would not have a hope that dares against all hope.
Che cos'è la fede? Questa domanda, cosa è la fede? Il Catechismo della Chiesa Cattolica ci spiega che la fede è
What is
l'atto
faith?
con cui
The Catechism of the
l'essere
Catholic
umano
Church, citing the Conciliar
si
Constitution
abbandona
Dei
liberamente a
Verbum,
Dio.
explained that faith is the act by which the human being freely commits himself to God. In this faith, Abraham was the great father. When he agreed to leave the land of his ancestors to head for the land that God would show him, he would probably have been judged insane. Why leave the known for the unknown, the certain for the uncertain? Why does he do that? He's crazy. But Abraham sets off as if he saw the invisible. This is what the Bible says about Abraham. That he sets off as if he saw the invisible. That's beautiful. And it will still be this invisible that makes him go up the mountain with his son Isaac, the only son of the promise, who only at the last moment will be spared from sacrifice. In this faith, Abraham becomes the father of a long line of descendants. Faith made him fertile. Moses was a man of faith when welcoming God's voice even more than one doubt could have shaken him. He continued to stand firm and trust in the Lord, and even defend the people who were so often lacking in faith. The Virgin Mary was a woman of faith when receiving the annunciation of the angel, which many would have dismissed as too demanding and risky, answered, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. May it be done to me according to your word." With a heart full of trust in God, Mary set out on a path of which she knew neither the route nor the dangers. Faith is the virtue that makes the Christian. Because to be Christians is not first and foremost about accepting a culture with the values that accompany it, but welcoming and cherishing a bond, God and I, myself and the amiable face of Jesus. This bond is what makes us Christian. With regard to faith, an episode of the Gospel comes to mind. Jesus' disciples were crossing the lake and are surprised by a storm. They think they can get by with the strength of their arms, with the resources of their experience. But the boat starts to fill up with water, and they are seized by panic. They do not realize that they have the solution before their very eyes. Jesus is there with them on the boat, in the midst of the storm. And he's asleep, says the Gospel. When they finally awaken him, fearful and even angry that he would let them die, Jesus rebukes them. Why are you afraid? Have you no faith? Here then is the great enemy of faith, not intelligence, not reason, as alas some continue obsessively to repeat. But the great enemy of faith is fear.
Per questo motivo la fede è il primo dono da accogliere nella vita cristiana.
For this reason, faith is the first gift to welcome in Christian life. A gift that must be welcomed and asked for daily so that it may be renewed in us. It is a seemingly small gift, yet it is the essential one. When we were brought to the baptismal font, our parents, after announcing the name they had chosen for us, were asked by the priest, "This is what happened in our baptism. What do you ask of the Church of God?" And your parents answered, "Faith and baptism." For Christian parents, aware of the grace that has been given to them, that is the gift to ask for their child too. Faith. With it, parents know that even in the midst of the trials of life, their child will not drown in fear. They also know that when the child ceases to have a parent on this earth, he will continue to have a God, the Father in heaven, who will never abandon him or her. Our love is so fragile, only God's love conquers death. Certainly, as the Apostle says, not everyone has faith. And we too, who are believers, often realize that we have only a short supply. Often Jesus can rebuke us, as he did with his disciples, for being men and women of little faith. But it is the happiest gift, the only virtue we are permitted to envy, because those who have faith are inhabited by a force that is not only human. Indeed, faith triggers grace in us and opens the mind to the mystery of God. As Jesus once said, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you could say to this sycamore tree, be rooted up and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. Therefore, let us too, like the disciples, repeat to him, Lord, increase our faith. It's a beautiful prayer. Should we say it all together? Lord, increase our faith. Let's say it together. Lord, increase our faith. It's a bit weak, a bit stronger now.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Très Saint-Père, les fidèles de langue française sont heureux de vous exprimer leurs sentiments respectueux et leur filial attachement. Ils vous assurent de leur prière les intentions de votre ministère apostolique universel.
On the theological virtue of faith. Now we will hear the summary of the Catechesis in the various languages, and at the end of each summary, the reader will greet the Holy Father on behalf of the pilgrims of that specific language group, and Pope Francis in return will greet the pilgrims. And we will not be translating the summaries because, of course, you've just heard it. And if you haven't, because you're just joining us now, there will be an English language summary being read. And we will, however, be translating the greetings that come after the summaries. For now, we are hearing the summary in French.
Entre ma personne et le visage aimable de Jésus. La foi est le premier don à recevoir dans la vie chrétienne. Un don qu'il faut accueillir et demander chaque jour pour qu'il se renouvelle en nous. Elle est un don essentiel, reçu lors du baptême, demandé par les parents à l'Église. Pour un parent chrétien, conscient de la grâce qui lui a été faite, la foi est aussi le don à demander pour son enfant. Il sait que lorsque celui-ci cessera d'avoir un parent sur cette terre, il continuera d'avoir un Père dans les cieux qui ne l'abandonnera jamais. Celui qui a la foi est habité par une force qui n'est pas seulement humaine. La foi déclenche en nous la grâce, elle ouvre notre esprit au mystère de Dieu. Comme les disciples, demandons à Jésus, « Seigneur, augmente notre foi ». Maintenant, le Saint-Père va saluer en italien les fidèles de langue française.
Saluto cordialmente i pellegrini di lingua francese, in particolare le parrocchie e i giovani venuti.
I cordially greet the French-speaking pilgrims, especially the parishes and young people who have come from France. While we are still in this Easter season, in remembrance and joy of the Lord's resurrection, let us ask him for the grace to adhere ever more closely to this mystery, and to adhere tenderly to his person, to follow him wherever he leads us. God bless you.
Vous saluant en italien, le Saint-Père vient de dire « Je salue cordialement les pèlerins francophones, en particulier les paroisses et les jeunes venus de France. Alors que nous sommes encore en ce temps de Pâques, dans la mémoire et la joie de la résurrection du Seigneur, demandons-lui la grâce d'adhérer toujours plus à ce mystère et de nous attacher avec tendresse à sa personne pour le suivre là où il nous conduit. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
Most Holy Father, the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors wish to express to you their sentiments of deep respect and esteem, and to assure you of their prayers for your ministry as a successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will sing together the Our Father in Latin. His Holiness will then impart his apostolic blessing, which extends in a particular way to the members of your families at home. He also intends to bless any religious articles you may have brought for this purpose, and in a special way, his blessing goes to your children, the elderly, and those who are sick. The following is a summary of the Holy Father's Catechesis at the beginning of the audience. Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on the theological virtues, which unite us to God and strengthen the moral virtues, we now turn to faith. The Catechism states that by faith we believe in God and all that God has revealed to us, and freely commit ourselves to Him. Throughout the Scriptures, we encounter poignant examples of this manifested in the lives of such individuals as Abraham, Moses, and the Blessed Virgin Mary, who embarked on uncharted paths fraught with perils, entrusting themselves completely to God. Yet even among believers, there are times when faith can falter and fear takes hold. Let us remember that faith is a gift that must be asked for with confidence in the power of God's grace to give stability and strength to our lives. Like the disciples in the boat, buffeted by the storm on the lake, let us turn to Jesus each day and beg Him, Lord, increase our faith. The Holy Father will now greet us in Italian.
Do il benvenuto ai pellegrini di lingua inglese presenti all'odierna udienza, specialmente gruppi provenienti da Finlandia, Malta, Paesi Bassi, Norvegia, Uganda, India, Malesia, Canada e Stati Uniti. Desidero inoltre trasmettere al popolo del Kenya la mia vicinanza spirituale in questo momento in cui una grave alluvione ha tragicamente tolto la vita a molti nostri fratelli e sorelle, ferendone altri e causando una diffusa distruzione. Vi invito a pregare per tutti coloro che stanno subendo gli effetti di questo disastro naturale. Anche in mezzo alle avversità ricordiamo la gioia di Cristo risorto. Invoco su di voi e sulle vostre famiglie l'amore misericordioso di Dio nostro Padre. Il Signore vi benedica.
I extend a warm welcome to the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors taking part in today's audience, especially the groups from Finland, Malta, the Netherlands, Norway, Uganda, India, Malaysia, Canada, and the United States. I also wish to express to the people of Kenya my spiritual closeness at this time, as severe flooding has tragically taken the lives of many of our brothers and sisters, injured others, and caused widespread destruction. I invite you to pray for all those affected by this natural disaster. Even amidst adversity, we remember the joy of the risen Christ, and I invoke upon you and your families the loving mercy of God our Father. May the Lord bless you.
Heiliger Vater, die Gläubigen deutscher Sprache
After
möchten
hearing
Ihnen die
the
herzliche
English
Zuneigung und
language
aufrichtige
translation
Verbundenheit
and
bekunden
greetings,
und versichern Sie
we
zugleich
are
Ihres
listening now
Gebets
to the
in allen Anliegen
German
Ihres universalen apostolischen Dienstes. Zum Schluss dieser Audienz singen wir gemeinsam das Vaterunser in lateinischer Sprache. Danach wird der Heilige Vater den apostolischen Segen erteilen. Gerne schließt er darin ihre Angehörigen ein, besonders die Kinder, die älteren Menschen und die Leidenden. Er segnet auch die Rosenkränze und die übrigen Andachtsgegenstände, die sie dafür mitgebracht haben. Es folgt nun eine Zusammenfassung der Katechese des Heiligen Vaters in deutscher Sprache. Liebe Brüder und Schwestern, in unserer Katechese betrachten wir heute den Glauben, jene göttliche Tugend, durch die wir an Gott und an all das glauben, was er uns gesagt und offenbart hat und was die Heilige Kirche uns zu glauben vorlegt. Denn Gott ist die Wahrheit selbst. Im Glauben überantwortet sich der Mensch Gott als Ganzer in Freiheit. Die Gnade des Glaubens wird bei der Taufe erbeten und durch dieses Sakrament wird sie dem Täufling als erste und wesentliche Gabe des christlichen Lebens zuteil. In den Wechselfällen des Lebens ist der Glaube aber auch von Gefahren bedroht. So tadelte Jesus den Kleinglauben seiner Jünger. Warum habt ihr solche Angst? Habt ihr noch keinen Glauben? Bitten wir darum den Herrn, dass er unseren Glauben stärke. Es folgt nun der Heilige Vater richtet nun einen kurzen Gruß auf Italienisch an die deutschsprachigen Gläubigen.
Cari fedeli di lingua tedesca, oggi ricordiamo in modo particolare San Giuseppe.
Dear German-speaking faithful, today we remember in a special way Saint Joseph, who readily accepted God's plans in his life. May his example help us to be steadfast in our faith, which gives us the certainty that the Lord always accompanies
deutscher
us.
Sprache, heute gedenken wir besonders des heiligen Josef, der in seinem Leben für die Pläne Gottes offen und bereit war. Sein Vorbild helfe auch uns, im Glauben festzustehen, der uns die Gewissheit gibt, dass der Herr uns immer begleitet.
And that was the German summary. And
Santo Padre, los visitantes y
now we
peregrinos
hear
de lengua
the
española que participan en
a
esta
greeting
audiencia,
from the
deseamos
Spanish
manifestarle
language
cordialmente sus
speaker.
sentimientos de
And
fidel
usually the
afecto
Holy
que
Father
acompañan
reads
con
his
fervientes
own
oraciones
summary
por sus intenciones de
of
pastor de toda la
the
Iglesia.
Catechesis in Spanish, as
Al final
of
de este
course,
encuentro se cantará
Spanish
el
is
Padre Nuestro en latín.
his mother
Después,
tongue,
su
with our Holy
santidad
Father being
impartirá a
from
todos los presentes
Argentina.
la bendición apostólica que extiende complacido a sus familiares, especialmente a los niños y a los ancianos, a los enfermos y a cuantos sufren. Bendice también los rosarios y demás objetos de devoción que los peregrinos llevan consigo.
The Holy Father is preparing now just to read the summary of his catechesis in Spanish.
Queridos hermanos y hermanas, la catequesis de hoy hace referencia a la primera de las virtudes teologales, la virtud de la fe. El catecismo de la Iglesia Católica nos enseña que por la fe creemos en Dios y en todo lo que Él nos ha dicho y revelado. Es también el acto con el que el ser humano se entrega libremente a Dios. En la Sagrada Escritura encontramos algunos ejemplos de la fe, ejemplos basilares. Fijémonos en la figura de nuestro padre Abraham, que estuvo dispuesto a abandonar su tierra y por su total confianza en Dios no negó en ofrecerle el sacrificio a su único hijo Isaac. También la fe de Moisés nos anima, ya que aún en medio de las pruebas y dudas siguió confiando en el Señor mientras guiaba a su pueblo por el desierto. Y veamos por último la fe de la Virgen María, la cual ante el anuncio del ángel respondió generosamente con un corazón totalmente disponible, abandonándose plenamente a la voluntad de Dios. Saludo cordialmente a los peregrinos de lengua
And now the
española.
greeting to the Spanish-speaking pilgrims. I cordially greet the Spanish-speaking pilgrims, in particular the Regnum Christi Federation.
A los legionarios de Cristo que han recibido en estos días la
The
ordenación
legionaries of Christ who have
sacerdotal y a sus
received priestly
familiares,
ordination in these
así
days
como
and
los
his families,
formadores y alumnos
as well as
de
the
los
formators and
diferentes
students
centros
of
de
the
estudio.
different study centers.
Que el Señor, por intercesión de San José
May the
Obrero,
Lord, through the intercession of Saint Joseph the Worker, our Father in obedience, increase our gift of faith and allow us to open our minds to His divine mystery. May Jesus bless you and the Holy Virgin watch over you. Thank you very much.
Santo Padre, os fiéis de língua portuguesa desejam testemunhar-lhe filial afeto e sincero.
Another summary and the greetings in Portuguese.
Por todas as intenções do seu ministério apostólico universal. No final desta audiência cantaremos a oração do Pai Nosso em latim. Depois o Santo Padre concederá a bênção apostólica com um pensamento especial às crianças, aos idosos e aos doentes. Abençoará também os terços e demais objetos de devoção que cada um tiver consigo. Leio agora um resumo da catequese que o Santo Padre acaba de pronunciar. Hoje refletimos sobre a virtude da fé, que antes de tudo é dom de Deus. Ela conserva a nossa relação com Ele e possibilita ver o invisível. Foi a fé que fez de Abraão, Moisés e a Virgem Maria sentirem-se seguros nas mãos do Senhor e completamente abandonados à sua vontade. Pela fé, venceram o medo, que por vezes tenta submergir-nos, como sucedeu no Evangelho aos discípulos, quando se debateram com uma tempestade em alto mar. Enquanto eram tornados pelo pânico, Jesus dormia na barca. Apavorados, acordaram-no e sentiram o Senhor perguntar-lhes: por que sois tão medrosos? Ainda não tendes fé? Na verdade, sem a fé, podemos afogar-nos no mar do medo. Porém, com ela, revestidos da força que vem de Deus, saímos sempre vitoriosos. Agora, o Santo Padre saúda em italiano os fiéis de língua portuguesa.
Cari pellegrini di lingua portoghese,
Another greeting to the Portuguese-speaking pilgrims. Dear Portuguese-speaking pilgrims, welcome. May Saint Joseph the Worker inspire you to mark each day with a special commitment, prayer. In it, let us first of all ask the Lord to renew and increase faith in us, so that all our work may have its beginning and its fulfillment in Him. God bless you.
Eis a tradução das suas palavras. Queridos peregrinos de língua portuguesa, sede bem-vindos. Que São José Operário vos inspire a ritmar cada dia com um trabalho especial, a oração. Nela, antes de mais, peçamos ao Senhor que renove e aumente em nós a fé, para que toda a nossa atividade por Ele comece e nele acabe. Deus vos abençoa.
And after the Portuguese, we will now be hearing the Arabic summary and greetings.
الناطقين باللغة العربية الحاضرين هنا أن يعبروا لكم عن مشاعر الاحترام والتقدير وشكرهم البنوي ويرفقونها بصلواتهم الدائمة إلى الله من أجل قداستكم وخدمتكم كخليفة القديس بطرس. في نهاية هذه المقابلة سنرتل معا صلاة الأبانة باللغة اللاتينية، ثم سيمنح الأب الأقدس جميع الحاضرين البركة الرسولية، ويشمل بها جميع أحبائكم وخاصة الأطفال والمتزوجين حديثا والمسنين والمرضى والمتألمين بآلام شديدة. وسيبارك كذلك المسابح والأشياء التقوية التي يحملها معه كل واحد منكم. إليكم ملخص التعليم المسيحي لقداسة البابا فرانسيس. تكلم قداسة البابا اليوم على فضيلة الإيمان في إطار تعليمه في موضوع الرذائل والفضائل، وقال: الإيمان هو العمل الذي به يسلم الإنسان ذاته بحرية لله. كان إبراهيم أبا المؤمنين، فقد وثق بالله عندما طلب منه أن يترك أرض أجداده ويتوجه إلى أرض لا يعرفها، وعندما طلب منه أن يقدم ابنه الوحيد ذبيحة. لكن الله بعد أن امتحن إيمانه منعه من أن يقدم ابنه ذبيحة له. وكان موسى رجل إيمان، كان ثابتا وراسخا في إيمانه وواثقا بالله. وكانت مريم العذراء أيضا مؤمنة، عملت دائما بحسب مشيئة الله. الإيمان هو العلاقة بين الإنسان والله. وقال قداسته: الخوف هو عدو الإيمان الأكبر، كما حدث مع التلاميذ عندما هبت عليهم العاصفة في البحيرة، فخافوا مع أن يسوع كان معهم. لذلك أول عطية يجب أن يطلبها الوالدان لأبنائهم هي عطية الإيمان، لأن الإيمان يبعد الخوف عنهم حتى في وسط محن الحياة، ويساعدهم أن تزداد ثقتهم بالله الذي لن يتخلى عنهم أبداً. الإيمان هو العطية السعيدة والفضيلة الوحيدة التي يسمح لنا أن نحسد الآخرين عليها، لأن الذي عنده إيمان تسكنه قوة فوق قوة البشر. لذلك لنطلب إلى الرب يسوع مثل التلاميذ بأن يزيدنا إيمانا. والآن تحية البابا باللغة الإيطالية لأبناء الشرق الناطقين اللغة العربية.
Saluto i fedeli di lingua araba.
I greet the Arabic-speaking faithful. The Christian is called to trust God and surrender to Him freely, for with Him we are in peace and security. May the Lord bless you all and protect you always from all evil.
أحيي المؤمنين الناطقين باللغة العربية. المسيحي مدعو إلى أن يثق بالله وأن يسلم نفسه له بحرية، لأننا معه نحن في سلام وأمان. بارككم الرب جميعا وحماكم دائما من كل شر.
And after the Arabic we now hear the Polish summary and
pielgrzymi z
greetings.
Polski i z innych krajów pragną przekazać Waszej świątobliwości wyrazy synowskiego oddania i szczerej wierności, zapewniając o modlitwie we wszystkich intencjach Jego apostolskiej posługi. Na zakończenie audiencji zaśpiewamy modlitwę Ojcze Nasz po łacinie. Po jej zakończeniu Ojciec Święty udzieli apostolskiego błogosławieństwa, obejmując nim szczególnie dzieci, osoby w podeszłym wieku i dotknięte cierpieniem. Pobłogosławi także różańce i dewocjonalia, jakie pielgrzymi przynoszą ze sobą. Oto streszczenie katechezy Ojca Świętego. Dzisiaj mówimy o cnocie wiary. Wraz z miłością i nadzieją nazywana jest teologalną, ponieważ można jej doświadczyć jedynie dzięki Bożemu darowi. Katechizm Kościoła katolickiego wyjaśnia, że wiara jest aktem, przez który człowiek dobrowolnie powierza się Bogu. Wiara jest cnotą kształtującą chrześcijanina, a jej wrogiem nie jest rozum czy inteligencja, ale lęk. Stąd jest darem, który trzeba przyjąć i o który należy prosić każdego dnia, aby mógł się w nas odnawiać. Pozornie jest on niewielki, a jednak najważniejszy. Stąd prośba rodziców o chrzest dla swych dzieci, bo wiedzą, że pośród życiowych prób dzięki wierze nie pogrążą się w lęku. Jest to jedyna cnota, której wolno nam zazdrościć. Wiara bowiem wyzwala w nas łaskę i otwiera umysł na tajemnice Boga. Powtarzajmy za uczniami: Panie, przymnóż nam wiary. Teraz Ojciec Święty pozdrowi nas, Polaków, w języku włoskim.
Saluto cordialmente i polacchi.
I cordially greet the Poles during the prayer of the month of May.
Confidate alla Madonna,
confide to Our Lady your personal and family vicissitudes, as well as the sufferings of those who are victims of wars.
Pregate per la Chiesa, per la
Pray
pace,
for the
per
Church,
la pace in
for the
Ucraina,
homeland, for
e
peace in
Medio
Ukraine
Oriente.
and the Middle East.
Maria, che 100
By
anni fa,
Mary,
Pio
whom
XI
100
istituì come
years ago
regina
Pius
per
XI
tutta la
established
Polonia,
as Queen
vi
of all
sostenga
Poland,
e vi
sustain
guidi.
and guide you.
Vi benedico di cuore.
I bless you from my heart.
Oto słowa Ojca Świętego. Pozdrawiam serdecznie Polaków. Podczas majowych nabożeństw zawierzajcie Matce Bożej sprawy osobiste, rodzinne, a także cierpienia ludzi, którzy są ofiarami wojen. Módlcie się za Kościół i Ojczyznę, o pokój dla Ukrainy i na Bliskim Wschodzie. Niech Maryja, którą 100 lat temu Pius XI ustanowił królową dla całej Polski, wspiera was i prowadzi. Z serca wam błogosławię.
And with that we heard the Polish language summary and greetings.
Santo
And
Padre,
the
i
final
fedeli di
language
lingua
is
italiana
Italian.
desiderano esprimere
Of course, there
filiale
will not be
affetto
a
e
summary
sincera
of the
fedeltà,
Italian
e pregano per tutte le
Catechesis because
intenzioni
the
del
Pope
suo
read the
universale
Catechesis in
mistero
Italian,
apostolico.
but there will
A
be a greeting
conclusione
on
di
behalf of the
questa
Italian-speaking
udienza
pilgrims
canteremo la preghiera del Padre nostro in
and
latino,
to the
terminata
Italian-speaking
la quale
pilgrims
il
from
Santo
the
Padre
Holy Father.
impartirà la benedizione apostolica che estende in modo speciale ai bambini, agli anziani e ai sofferenti. Benedirà anche i rosari e gli oggetti di devozione che ciascuno porta con sé.
Rivolgo un cordiale benvenuto ai pellegrini di lingua italiana.
I extend a cordial welcome to the Italian-speaking pilgrims.
In particolare saluto le suore
In
mercedari
particular, I greet the Mercedarian
che
sisters
celebrano il capitolo
who are
generale,
celebrating their general chapter, encouraging them to persevere in their service to the gospel and to the church in the footsteps of their foundress, the servant of God, Mother Teresa
Saluto
of
altresì
Jesus.
i chierichi dell'Istituto Teologico Don Orione di Roma.
I also greet the clerics of the Don Orione Theological Institute in Rome, and I urge them to live this time of formation with intensity, renewing day by day their readiness to respond to the Lord's call.
Accolgo con affetto i fedeli di Frisa e di Panni,
I welcome with affection the faithful of Frisa and Panni,
auspicando che la visita alla tomba degli apostoli
hoping that the visit to the tomb of the apostles will strengthen faith and Christian witness in them.
pensiero va infine ai giovani e
Finally, my
malati.
thoughts go out to the young people, the sick, the elderly, and the newlyweds.
Con tutta la Chiesa
Today, the
facciamo
1st of May,
memoria
with
di
the
San
whole
Giuseppe
church, we
Lavoratore.
commemorate Saint Joseph the
Iniziamo il
Worker,
mese
and
mariano.
we begin the Marian
Pertanto,
month.
ciascuno di voi vorrei
Therefore,
riproporre
to each of you I
la
would
Santa
like to
Famiglia di
propose
Nazareth
once again
come
the Holy
modello di
Family of
comunità
Nazareth
domestica,
as a model of domestic
comunità di
community,
vita, di lavoro e
a
di
community
amore.
of life, work, and love.
E poi
And
non
then
dimentichiamo di pregare per la
let
pace.
us not forget to pray for peace.
Preghiamo i popoli che sono vittime della
Let us
guerra.
pray for the people who are
La guerra
victims
sempre è una
of
sconfitta,
war.
sempre.
War is always a defeat, always.
Pensiamo alla martoriata
We
Ucraina
think of martyred Ukraine,
che soffre tanto.
which suffers so much.
Pensiamo agli abitanti della Palestina
We think
e di Israele
of
che sono in
the
guerra.
people who live in Palestine and in Israel, the
Ai
countries at war.
Rohingya, al Myanmar.
We think of the Rohingya refugees.
E
We
chiediamo
think of
la
Myanmar,
pace.
and we ask for peace.
Chiediamo la vera pace per questi
We
popoli.
ask for real
per
peace
tutto
for
il
these
mondo.
peoples and for the whole world.
Purtroppo oggi
Unfortunately, today,
gli investimenti che
investments
danno più reddito sono le fabbriche delle armi.
that give most income are
Guadagnare con la morte. Chiediamo per la pace. Che
is the
vada
production
avanti la
of
pace.
weapons,
A tutti la mia benedizione.
making money off death. We must pray for peace. We must pray for peace, and to all of you, my blessing.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus, et ne nos inducas in tentatione, sed libera nos a malo.
Domino Voviscum, sit nomen Domini benedictum, aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini. Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius, Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. Soltanto.
And the Holy Father has concluded his general audience, and now he is greeting the guests, the bishops and other people who have traveled to meet with him. And that concludes this live broadcast of Pope Francis's general audience of this Wednesday, the 1st of May, the feast of Saint Joseph the Worker. Today we heard a reflection from the Holy Father on faith as he continued his cycle of Catechesis on the theological virtues. Now, many thanks go to our partner radios through which you may be listening. These are EWTN Television English Channel, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light Television, Radio Maria England, Shalom World Television, Atmadarshan Television, Catholic Television, Luminous Radio India, and Radio Maria Papua New Guinea. This event is also available on our Vatican News YouTube channel and on our Vatican News website, where you can also find summaries of the Holy Father's discourses and homilies, as well as reports on his main activities, and you can find us at www.vaticannews.va. Please do also take a look at our Facebook, X and Instagram pages. and a thank you to our friends from the Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas, or DCYIA, and this is an invitation again to visit our YouTube channel with translation in American Sign Language at Vatican News-ASL. My name is Francesca Merlo, and it has been a pleasure being with you today, and thank you for being with me. And until next time, Laudetur Jesus Christus, praised be Jesus Christ.
Years of sharing the peace of Christ. Shalom World, God's own channel. Every story starts